Good morning, dear ones. We are very pleased to be speaking with you in this way again. This morning we would like to offer to you what we consider to be a fundamental truth, and certainly in these times, a very useful perspective. And that is that light is illumination. Light is information, and darkness is the absence of these. Darkness is hidden. Darkness means no light, no illumination or information, no truth. So we encourage you deeply, now is the time, to see darkness as darkness, to recognize darkness as darkness, as no truth. For example, the man-made illnesses, the orchestrated riots and violence, the systemically imposed lack and poverty, medical systems that are designed for profit rather than healing, so much of what you've been experiencing as normal life. Recognize darkness as darkness, and recognize that the orchestrated appearances around you are not born of truth. What appears to be the information behind them is false. Yes, dark events seem to be happening all around, and the efforts of a few continue to create more of them, but they are not born of truth, or light, or illumination. They are deliberately created in falsehood and darkness to keep you in darkness, and then they are reported in the news in grossly exaggerated fashion and falsehood, also to keep you in darkness. Light is illumination. Light is truth. Light is information. And darkness is the absence of these. Look around you, dear ones. Look beyond the appearances of darkness and see that the world is awakening. Fewer and fewer people are reacting out of fear and habitual belief. If you will let go of old habits of perception and reaction, you will see that so many hearts have softened and opened. More and more of you are seeing the light and beauty behind the appearances of darkness. More and more of you are seeing the beneficial and beautiful change by which you are carrying yourselves to lives of love, light, cooperation, and compassion, where all that exists will be for the benefit of all. For those of you who are detaching from the lower vibrational drama around you and just doing your best to stay in love and to hold the light, you will be, indeed, so many of you are, now seeing and feeling and experiencing the higher frequency changes all around you. And this, very simply, of course, is because you are now functioning at higher vibration, at a higher dimensional reality. There's not that much to it. So please put aside expectation and projection about what this is supposed to feel like. It's really as simple as we've been saying. Let go of the old, stay in love. You're there. This is the energy and the reality of these times and of you. And for those of you who are truly detaching, just doing your best to stay detached from third dimensional appearance and letting go of fear and old habits of reaction and so on, you are also beginning to experience some of the biological and multidimensional changes we've been discussing. Your body moving from carbon base to crystalline base, slowly at first. The DNA changes we've discussed in the past. Your new chakras, which we've also discussed a few times in past messages. For those of you who are maintaining high enough vibration, no longer reacting to the appearances of darkness, your new chakras are actually now beginning to function at higher frequency, which is what they are designed for, so that eventually your entire being, all of you, will be functioning at fifth dimensional existence and above. You're truly becoming multidimensional beings, ascending beings. It's all energy, as we keep saying. It's all energy. What you focus on becomes you. So, dear ones, in each moment, just do your best. Do your best to see the beauty behind the appearances of ugliness. See the hearts of your fellow humans softening and opening to love and compassion and sharing and generosity. See that the vibration of your entire planet is rising inexorably, irreversibly, now. It's happening now. So there were quite a few questions this week, and pretty much all of them had to do with asking about all of the events, or many of the events and appearances happening now. So we have a little bit of reluctance to engage too energetically in answering these questions. We do not want to tell you, on one hand, let go of the dark appearances, let go of the orchestrated events, let go of the projection and the worry that's put out there at so many levels still, and then on one hand do that, and on the other hand discuss them. So we will take a couple of the questions just to help you see what's really happening under the surface, and to encourage you, yes, it is okay to let go of the appearances and be what you really are, centering your heart in love. So one of the questions was about the police. There's been much said lately about, well, with the question here, the person asking the question referred to it as the dismantling of the police. And the police, this is just one aspect of coming change. It's not so much police are being dismantled, it's just that their nature and purpose is changing. And at first you'll be seeing this as the demilitarization of the police. In so many parts of the world, including the United States, many police forces, and especially in major urban areas, have basically become military forces. And this is already beginning to change. And we are not saying here, dear ones, that most police are not consciously tools of the deep state or anything like that. This control, this deep state control, comes from the top. Most of the people involved and affected are simply functioning within a system. So please, once again, put aside blame of all kinds. Blame is duality. Blame is self and other. So, police are being demilitarized, and especially in the short term, in the foreseeable future, they will become more peacekeeping forces than traditional police forces. And already, you can see, for those who will put aside appearance, the old habitual reactions, you can see policemen and policewomen awakening. They are changing, as are people all over the world, as are people within the militaries around the world, as are people at every function and level of society. There was another question on what was termed the perceived economic collapse. And so here, first of all, there will be no economic collapse in the commonly understood sense of that phrase. There will be no collapse. There simply will be change, most of it pretty gentle. So please, once again, keep in mind virtually everything presented in the mass media is false at many, many different levels and grossly exaggerated. But also much of the information in alternate media, even the well-intentioned stuff, so much of that, well, it's disseminated at the vibration and level of consciousness of the people disseminating it. So there is, even the well-intentioned stuff still has fear in it and still judges by appearance. Yes, the old is disintegrating and the new is arising like phoenix from the ashes in a wondrous way, in a gentle way. And as we've discussed before, regarding the economic changes, these are happening from the top down, which is how the old control mechanism functioned. So, if you'll remember, the Federal Reserve in the United States and central banks in other countries, these either have already been or are being returned to their respective governments instead of privately controlled cabal forces. And the same is true of major economic and financial institutions the world over. And not just the ones having to do with money. The World Health Organization is included in this. Control of that has already shifted, or is in the process of shifting. The World Bank. So the highest and deepest of these changes has already taken place, and you'll see the effects trickle down. Eventually, all financial institutions will exist for the benefit of humanity. The very concept of profit will eventually fade as more and more the reality of everyone having what they need when they need it comes more and more into being. As worry and fear and of habitual perceptions of lack and competition fade, love rises, awareness of oneness, the awareness of the interconnectedness of all of us, as this comes more and more into being, the old stuff simply melts away. And the energies of sharing and compassion and cooperation are simply there. And this is already happening. For those who take their focus off of appearance, this will become more and more apparent. So, no worries. Don't worry, be happy. Powerful words, actually. So, please remember, despite appearances, all is going very well. These changes we discuss, these very positive and loving changes we discuss so frequently, are now irreversible. Please remember, dear ones, you are the light. Yes, we are here to help you. We are helping in many ways. But in the end, you are the light that is quickening the world. You are the light that is awakening the world. You are the light that is awakening your fellow humans. How could it be otherwise? This is your truth. You are the light. This is not a theory. It's the way it is. So let go of all the worrisome stuff and just let yourself be you. Let yourself be the love and the light and the joy and the compassion and the rejoicing that you really are. You are bringing to the world a level of beauty and joy and sharing and compassion and passion that this planet has never seen. And it's all you. And so we end this message today by thanking you from the bottom of our hearts for being what you are.